Proverbs chapter 13, verse 12. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. Hello, family. I am Reverend Terita Williams, Executive Pastor at IHLM in His Love Ministries. And once again, I'd like to welcome you to another Proverb Wednesday. I am so glad that you are here today. You know, this is our midweek pause, a chance to breathe, to reflect, and let God's wisdom steady our hearts. Life moves fast, but Proverbs slow us down, and they remind us of truths that never expire. And speaking of timeless truths, today's proverb is one that speaks directly to the season we're in. Advent, a time of waiting and hoping. So let's read that proverb again and let's listen closely to what the Lord is trying to tell us on today. It is Proverbs chapter 13, verse 12. And it reads, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life." Now, let's lean in together, shall we? And unpack what this really means. Because there's a rhythm here. First, the ache of waiting, then the joy of fulfillment. That rhythm is what makes this proverb so powerful. Now, this proverb comes from Solomon's Wisdom collection, but it's more than just a clever saying. It's a mirror of the human heart. In Hebrew thought, the heart wasn't just emotions. It was the center of life, the seat of will and spirit. So when hope is delayed, it doesn't just make us sad. It weighs us down, our whole being. Now, the phrase hope deferred speaks to those seasons when prayers seem unanswered, when promises feel postponed, when the waiting stretches longer than we imagined. But then Solomon contrasts it with a desire fulfilled, and he calls it a tree of life. That's powerful imagery. In scripture, the tree of life represents God's presence, his renewal, and eternal joy. So this proverb isn't just about human longing, it's about divine timing. And that brings us to something we all understand personally. And that's the experience of waiting. Let me share a story with you. Years ago, a friend of mine was praying for a child, month after month, year after year. The hope seemed deferred. She described it as an ache that touched every part of her life, her prayers, her conversations, even her dreams at night. Her heart felt sick with waiting. But then, in God's timing, she was blessed with adoption. The day she held her daughter in her arms, she said it was like breathing again after holding her breath for years. That moment, y'all, was her tree of life. The waiting didn't disappear, but the fulfillment transformed it into joy. And isn't that the truth for all of us? We each have our own version of that story, whether it's waiting for healing, reconciliation, or breakthrough. The ache is real. But beloved, so is the joy when God moves. Which leads us to the inspiration this proverb offers us. This proverb reminds us that Advent is not just about waiting. It's about waiting with hope. Israel waited generation after generation for the Messiah. Prophets spoke of his coming, promises were declared, but the fulfillment didn't happen overnight. I'm sure you know the story. That long delay could have made hearts sick with discouragement. Yet, when Jesus was born in Bethlehem, every deferred hope found its answer. He was a desire fulfilled, the true tree of life. And here's the beauty, y'all. The proverb doesn't deny the ache of waiting. It does not. It acknowledges it. God knows that deferred hope can feel heavy. He doesn't dismiss our weariness. He meets us in it. And Advent teaches us that our waiting is not wasted. That our waiting is not wasted. Even when we don't see immediate answers, God is weaving together a story that will bring life. Think about it. Every candle we light during Advent pushes back the darkness a little more. Hope, peace, joy, love. They remind us that Christ is both the promise and the fulfillment. The proverb says a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. That's not just poetic, it's prophetic. Jesus himself is the tree of life, the one who restores what's broken, renews what's weary, and breathes joy into places that felt barren. So, y'all, when you feel the ache of deferred hope, whether it's unanswered prayers, delayed dreams, or long sessions of waiting, remember that God's fulfillment is greater than the delay. His promises are not fragile, they are certain. And when they come to pass, they bring a joy that outweighs the waiting. Advent is proof of that. The birth of Christ is proof of that. And the promise of his return is proof that our hope is secure. And with that encouragement, let's talk about what we can do right now. So, as I like to say, here's your charge for today or this week. Ready? Identify your deferred hopes. Write them down. Name them before God. 2, shift your focus. Instead of staring at the delay, fix your eyes on Christ, the tree of life. And 3, celebrate small fulfillments. Notice the ways God is already answering prayers in pieces, reminding you he's at work. And beloved, I want you to then come back to our page and post a comment on your experiences. So, beloved, don't let deferred hope steal your joy. Anchor yourself in the promise that God's fulfillment is coming. And as you light the candle of hope, let it remind you that waiting is not the end of the story. Until next time, remember, there is a hope that lights the darkness. This has been IHLM Proverb Wednesday with Reverend Terita Williams. I want y'all to stay encouraged, stay hopeful. And until we meet again next week, keep your eyes on Christ. Peace out. Love y'all. Make it a marvelous rest of your day.